Hey guys, if you can hear my voice, please let me know. And yeah, I don't know how to turn on the slow-mo. I have no idea, but yeah, I got it started. And at the meantime, if you can hear my voice, please let me know and leave a message on the chat box, and then we can start. Okay, can anyone hear me again? Jordan, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me know. Okay, so Michael said he can hear me, so I think everybody can hear me. Okay, yeah, today we're going to do the to solve the problem in the CCC is 2018 J2. It's called Occupy Parking, and you can go to this website, or you can just go to the CCC question. Like always, you can just go CCC questions, and there's a website over here. It's from Waterloo, University of Waterloo. So I may just copy this one and put it here. And you go part test contest, and at the upper part it was for the mathematics contest, but for the computer is all the way down here. It's saying Canadian Computing Competition CCC. Yeah, I think most of you guys already tried the Beaver one, and it should be easier for you when you are in the junior high or grade 5 or grade 6. So I will go to the grade 2018. Yeah, 2018, and there's problems for junior and senior. I will choose junior because we are marketer, and today we are continue to the J2. And after 2 weeks, we will go back to the JavaScript and the HTML thing, because what I want, just you guys have some fun on the web programming, but at the meantime you can learn some Python, so it won't be too boring, because if you do the questions all the time, it would feel boring. Anyway, if you are good at the Python or any programming, you can keep trying, like J1, J2, J3, all the way go to J5. And I know that you should be able to solve all the problem until J4. J4 should be okay for you right now. And J5, you probably need to spend more time. I would say I also need much more time to code J5, and I even say it wouldn't be easy to get 15 out of 15. So but yeah, we are still working on the J1 to J4, but I really want you to continue to work on all of them, because that is if you want to prepare for the contest for next year, it's good time to start to work on the rest of them. Okay. Yeah, so like every time we are going to read some read the question, and then we take some note. So I am going to pull out my note sticky. I use this application called Stickies. Where is it? My sticky is here. Yeah, too small. And I create a new one. And at the meantime, I want you to go to the same website. Like I just copied the link, put it on the chat box, and you can take a look at the questions. And you can also just do to this website. Also go to this website. Either way are good. So I open a new sticky, and let me see, I can make it show bigger. Make it show bigger. The font and the size. So I will change it to 22 and see it's good or not. All right, that's good. And I also switch my my keyboard. Hopefully you can see it, because the last time someone told me it's annoying, but I like my this one keyboard, because this keyboard is when I type is making some sound. It's kind of funny. And since you guys don't want the noise, so I just switch my keyboard. So let's just read the question. Hopefully you can see it clear, and also if you don't, and you can read it on your computer. So I'm going to read it, and I am going to take some notes. Like every time I just take the note about the numbers, and all those numbers should be help me to go back to the question, and I don't have to read the question again and again. So that this problem is just saying you are going to manage the parking lot, and this parking lot have the n parking space. So for example, I have 5 parking space, so it would be n equal to 5, right? So I have n parking space. So it's just a number. And then they said yesterday you recorded which parking space were occupied by cars. I'm gonna zoom it up. It's too small for me. And it's occupied by cars, and which one is empty. And today you are going to record the same information. And how many parking spaces were occupied both yesterday and today? And what does it mean? It means just like they want to find out, like for example, they have some parking lot in the parking space. Like for example, you have one parking lot. How about just A, B, C, D, E? Like I have 5 parking spaces. So today it would be like you just like today someone just come in and they park it on the parking lot C, and then they didn't park it on B, and they use a dot and saying just use dot, or they used capital C, and they use the dot if no one take the parking lot B, and if they take the parking lot C, and then they mark it with C. And for D, maybe no one do it and no one do it, like this. So that's for yesterday. And if today I do the same record, but probably someone just parking on the B, and this time, or they parking on B or C, or how about just also in D, and because today too many people come in and they may take like 4 space here. And the question is saying how many of the parking space were occupied both yesterday and today, and what they mean is like they want to find out like if the parking A was occupied yesterday and today or not, and obviously it's not. And if for parking B are they the same, and they are not. For C, yes, they are the same, so we count 1. So, and then for D, no. For parking lot E, nope. So which means we only have 1 parking C was occupied in yesterday and today. And then we move forward to the input specification, and it just tell you what's your input. So your input is like, for the first line is the, again I'm going to scrolling up, is saying for the first line is just tell you the integer n, which is the parking space, and number of parking space. And the second line and the third line is for the today and yesterday. So the second line is for yesterday, and the third line is for today. All right, and then if you continue to read the input specification, it will say exactly what I explained here. It's just like they use the C for occupy and a dot for empty. It just like if no one parked here, and it just use a dot, and they have the output 1. But in this sample, if you go from the input specification and now you go to the sample input, and they obviously they are on the second parking space was occupied in yesterday and today. Okay, and now if you go to the Walker say no, I have no idea. Don't do slow-mo. Okay, I'm not going to do it. All right, for the sample input 2, and it would be do the same thing. Like if they have 7, n is equal to 7, and you have 7 parking lot for yesterday, you are fully occupied. So everybody's box was occupied. And for today, it would be just 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 parking space was because the yesterday is fully occupied, so you don't need to compare, and you know, oh, they are all just have 4, and then you got the output number 4, and that's the question. And I will give you like how about like 1 or 2 minutes, and you read the question, and I'm going to make my own sample, and you are going to tell me what's the number. I just show you, like for example, if n equal to how about 6, and 6, so I got the yesterday one is like C dot C C C, okay, because it's 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they have 6. And today it would be dot C C C C C. So let's again, yeah, it would be correct. So if this is the input, if you know the answer for the output, please let me know. Like you don't use the computer, you just tell me what's the output number, And if you know the answer, please put it on the checkbox so I know you understand the question. All right. All right, I think most of you understand what the question means. And now I have to pull up my PyCharm. And if you have PyCharm, you can open your PyCharm. If you don't, and you can go to the, or you can use Visual Studio Code, or use the Repel, and any one of them, either of them are good. But yeah, I use PyCharm for the Python class. And the same, because I already have my project, so in desktop, and I just open it. If you don't, and you have to create your own project and your own folder. And what I'm doing here, I have 2018, and I create one file called I'm going to create one file for J2, so it's up to you. It really doesn't matter. So I just create a Python file, and I just do 2018 and J2.py, just J2, and it's a new file. So let's think about how to solve this problem. So the first one is obviously I need to read the input and load them into load this string, like the first line is 6, and then load the second line and the third line. So the easy way to do that is like, so let's just n equal to input, right? And the second line is like yesterday, so I would say yesterday. Maybe too long, so I may just y is equal to yesterday. All right, and yeah, another input. In today, I may use today or t, just t. Okay, input. So yeah, I can read 3 of them, and in order to compare all of them, there are a lot of ways to compare them, but the easy way is like, since we already know how to jump to each of them, right? Each of the character, and what in Python what they do is, like, for example, they just give it a start position and the end position. So for example, I just like output print. I want to get the first one, and you just get first one is like y, and use bracket, and then 0 to 1, and then you can get the yesterday one. And of course I want to pull out the today one, so I just do the exactly same t to 1. So since I'm just doing the coding, I'm showing you how to develop the idea. But for you, because if you're familiar with the whole process, you don't have to do these steps. But usually I will do this step and let you fully understand how I think. And of course, yeah, you can just go through all of them, and you can just directly go through the six characters in this string. But for me, and I want to do it step by step and show you clearly how to make the output to solve this problem, and so that's why I just do it slowly. Okay, so I may just go to run this one, and I would want to test my code and see if it's working or not. So I'm gonna run it for the first time. For the PyCharm, when you want to run it, you have to click run and choose this one, run. And for the second time, you just do Control R or Command R. But for the first one, so you have to choose. So I choose, because I name it 2front18 J2. That's the one I just create the file, which is this file. So I click on this one, and it's asking for my input. And I go back to my question. I may copy this one, copy it, select them, copy it, and I go back and I just paste it here. Of course you can type it by yourself, but I think it's easy to do this, right? You just copy it and paste. So for the first one character is C, and the second one is dot. So obviously they are not the same, so we won't count it. And if you want to do the second one, so it would be go like the second one would be, you would go 1 and 2, 1 and 2, right? And then you will run it again, and then it will print it out. But yeah, like what we want to count, like for example, you have to define a variable called count, like just count equal to 0. And if the first character of the yesterday equal to today's character, or if yesterday is C and today is C, and then we will the count will add 1 into the count. So it is easy. You just use the condition. It's saying if CY, the first character of yesterday in the first parking lot, and if equal to capital C, and today the first parking lot 1, the first parking lot is also equal to C, then then what you need to do is just like count equal count plus 1, and that's what you want. And of course for the same one, same for the second spot of your parking lot, so you just change 1, then 2, 1, then 2. Now I want to see my output now for the count, and it should be like, because the second spot should be the same, right? I should see the count is equal to 1. So I'm gonna run it, and this time I can do Control R, and oopsie, my keyboard is bad, so I may just use this one, and again I'm going to copy it and paste. and copy it and paste here, and I would get the result 1. Hopefully you can understand what I'm talking about, but I will give you some time. You will do this code, but I'm going to remove this print because it's useless. I just want to show you guys what is the position 1, but I want you to code probably the same like mine, but you can develop your own solution. Okay, so I will give you 5 minutes, and you finish this code, and we are going to move forward. Okay, and once you're done, please leave me a message on the chat box. I will go back here, this code, and now you should see it. And I think it's not that hard, and you can just code it and let me know if you're done. Okay. All right, I think most of you guys have been done, and then we can continue. So it would be hard if we have 6 parking lot and I keep doing the same thing. Like if I have 16 parking lot, and it would be very hard to do this, right? So what we want here is like we want a loop. Like obviously we want to loop it, and then we can finish all of them. So since we already learned something called for loop, so you can just for like I in range. So what a range do is just give you a whole bunch of number in a list, so we can loop it through. So like here, because we have n, so we have n, so we want to loop through n. So I'm going to show you what it means. So you just print I, because I want to have the range n. Range n will give you like something like this. I also output and let you know. In case you have some doubt on that, you just output like n, and you will see the result of range n, and then we are going to loop through range n, the output of range n, and we have created I for each element. So I'm going to run it, and you will see the first 2 output. We will extract from that, and I'm going to run it and just run. And of course I go back here and copy and paste. Go PyCharm, and I'm going to paste here and hit enter. And what does it mean? It means string object cannot be interpreted as an integer, line 7, because range n is something. Okay, I may just convert it to string and see what happens. It shouldn't be like that, but I'm not sure. I just run it again and paste, and again string cannot be. Oh yeah, sorry about that, because my n is a string. See, I make a mistake. See, this n, when we have the input from 6, it is a string, so I have to convert it to an integer. So you will use the same function called int, and it would convert it to the number. And now I'm going to run it, and it should show you the result. So I'm going to paste it here and run. So the first result would be range 0 to 5. It doesn't say anything, but the second one, it will be just from give you the output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, ignore 1 because 1 is the count, right? So don't worry about the count. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is like obviously I am going to put this whole logic, inside to this block, right? I'm going to just put it inside here. Why? Because I want to loop it through instead of just do it one by one. Like here is the first position, and here is the second, and then you go third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, and seventh one, and eighth one, ninth one. You just waste time. So I just copy this block, the whole block, and I am gonna paste here. Okay, and so inside the for loop coding block, and there's a try block here, and inside this if condition, and it has its own try block here. So I don't need this part anymore. I'm gonna remove this if. but obviously we have to change something here, right? Because the I keep changing, we want to change the position. So for the first I is 0, and so here I would put just I, and the next position from 0 it should be 1, so you can do just I plus 1. So 0 plus 1 equal to 1, right? And because the yesterday and today would be the same position, so I'm gonna just copy it and replace this part. So that is for 0, and then we will go next round. It would be I would be 1, and we have 1, and 1 plus 1 equal to 2. Okay, it's from 1 to 2, so it would be the second position, and of course this one also the second position. And then if you continue to I is equal to 2, and now you got 2 to 3. 2 to 3 is the like 0, 1, 2. 2 to 3 is the first position, and you just keep going if you understand how the loop work. And they are just changing this I, but every time they will fill up the bracket. They have they point to different position, like different parking space in this question, like this parking space, keep going, and that would be cool. And I'm gonna test my code, and at the meantime you can do your code, and probably I'm not gonna run it, and maybe you are going to hit the same problem, and we are going to talk about that. Okay. Yeah, you can start to do your code, and I am just running my code. Okay, if you have any question, you can leave a message on the chat box, and I can do more explanation. And I'm just copy it and paste, so it will show me 1, and I'm going to test the second sample, like 7. Like this one, it should be number 4 is the output. And I'm gonna run it and paste, and it's number 4, which is correct. And at the meantime, if you're done, please let me know. And if you have any question, please put it in the chat box so we can talk about that. So if you have got some problem, and let's just go through your code. If your code is not like mine, and probably you make some mistake, and yeah, like if you copy and paste, put it here, it should be exactly like what I did here. So what you might probably have the problem is changing this one, because we have to switch the position. Like once the I equal to 0, so it should be 0 to 1 and 0 to 1. And if you go the second position, it should be 1 to 2, 1 to 2. And then it's the first position is would be 2 to 3, 2 to 3. So far, so on, and it just keep doing the same thing. So you see the I keep changing, and just to investigate the I. If you still have some problem, you can still doing something like this. You just like print y I plus 1, and then you can, after you run it, you should print out all the yesterday value one by one, and then you can do the debug like in this way. Like you put a output here, like what I did here, and you would have the output. If you said you cannot get the right answer, and also you can put the T, this part, and output it, and you see, oh, is it the same like what you did? Okay, yeah, because I want you to learn some skill how to do the debug, because if you have the problem or you have the issue and you need to read the error message, and if you doesn't have the same output like the sample one, and you should be able to do your debug, because you might make some typo error on some of them. Like for example, you might do the typo on the Y or the T, or you might do I or something like this. But anyway, if you always want to see what happened on this one, and you just do the output of them, and you will see and what's the value of that. So for example, for this one, and I can just Control R, and then I go put the same input like this one, and I put here. So you should have the same output like yesterday, C dot and C. Okay, which means this part is correct. And if you change to this part, you also always copy and paste. I like to copy and paste because sometimes you do the typo error, you don't realize that. So that's why I copy and paste. So I will do the same thing, and I Control R and run it again, and I paste the result, the input, and I hit enter, and you will see for today is dot. The first one is dot, and the second one is C, dot, and dot. So that's the way you can to debug if you are typing right or long. Okay, because sometimes you might type long and make some mistake. And yeah, but it really doesn't matter. That's why we like do programming, because you can correct it and just do some debug. Okay, if you already get the right answer, please let me know and put it in the checkbox. Yeah, like many of you might have been done. What I always like suggest you to do is just copy all of them and you go to this website and you click run code in dmoj. I don't know how to spell it, but dmoj.ca. Go to this website and you go this button. You click on this button, and you, of course, you have to sign it up. And now you log in, and you can paste the question here, called occupy parking, and then you click this. Oh yeah, you have to choose Python 3 because we use Python 3 to code it, and then we click submit, and if you give you all the answer, and obviously is we got it right, is 15 out of 15, right? So yeah, that's what I want you to do, because you have to verify your answer from the from this website. But if you already register from your school, and you can log in your school and do the same thing. And since I didn't have a school account, so I go to this website to do this step, and hopefully you can get 15 out of 15. And if you don't, and you might just come back and compare your code with this one, right? So yeah, and I'm going to repeat the same solution again if you not fully understand why we do it. So the first part is just take the input, and since I make a mistake, I forget to put the int. That's why I hit the error when I do the output, because they're saying n is not a integer, it's just a string. And so I make this mistake, and now it should be good. And I define a variable called count, and this count is I define in the first level, like the first level I didn't have the space, but like this space. So this count should be a variable to any of them, because it's the first level. So, and we're going to talk about a little bit on the score of the variable. So, and who can use this variable? And if you develop on the first level, like this level, like here, and it can be referred by this block, like here, right? But if you define it in here, I'm going to comment out this one. If you define in here, so if I'm going to print this one, and it won't work, because in this first level it won't be seeing inside here this variable. So I think you might have a little bit confused, but at the moment it would be like you may know it just like, because this count is in this score, inside here, in this block, is the life cycle is inside here, the lifespan. And for if you define it outside here, it would be everywhere. So yeah, that's why I define it here, and then you can do the print here. Okay, if I define it in here, the first time I use it here, it would be the problem. And like, for example, I just run it, and let's see, oh shoot, again I run it, and I'm gonna copy the same code and go to my Python and hit enter. So it would be just 0. So because the count would be, I don't think it would be increased, but it's where it should be like some error to show me. But for some reason it doesn't show the error. But anyway, you have to define the variable in the first level. In this case, like because I use it in this first level. Okay, just let you know this one. But we are going to talk about this kind of score, variable score, later. And now we use for loop, and we use for loop, and here it would be a range, and a range just make a like, for example, if the n is equal to 6, it would be just 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you start from 0. But for the range, you can give it a start value like something like this. It would be 1 to start from 1 to 6, something like this. But here we just put the 6 here. The input of n here, it would be 0 to n subtract 1. And you can test it out and see how this range works. It just gives you a range. And so it's just a for loop. And if you have the I, and that's why we keep looping it. And now once we loop every position, and then we compare with the if they are all occupied or not. If they are all occupied, which means they are the same, and then we count 1. Just increase the count to +1. And that's why after we loop for all the spot, and then we will get the correct count. And I read the comment and checkbox, someone saying, should I just use the return, like instead of printing it, and should I just use return something like this? So you may ask, return this. For the CCC question is no, because return is for a function, like ABC. For a function, you use the return to return something. Okay, to return a value. Once you call the function, and it will return the value to the caller. But here, because CCC want you to output it, so you have to use print to output it. Okay, so print and return are totally different. Print is like we output into this breadbox, this console. We call console or terminal, whatever you call it, but it just print. If you want to think what is print, and if you have a printer at your house, at your home, and then you print something and it just go out from your printer, and we call it output. Okay, but return is different. Return is like you return a value for your function, like this function, in case I'm not saying it right. Okay, so you have to return from a function. Okay, you got it? Like a block of code is this is a block of code, is one block. You got it? All right, so you have to use the return to return from a function. Like, for example, return a function. Like, since we still have 2 minutes, and I might be just use a function to do this job. Okay, I changed this one to be a function, and I'm gonna show you, like, I'm gonna define a function here. Let me just copy it. Okay, and like what Guyu said, we might use a function, right? Like, just like function is just spot. Okay, spot. And you have to, obviously you have to put a parameter for it, and you will return I have to give 2 parameter. Like, first parameter is the y or t, which is yesterday or today's string. So I just saying let's just saying parking, just park. Okay, so parking, whatever, just park. Okay, so I will return park. Okay, I may just use P because just puck. So I may just return I plus 1. Okay, exactly like here. Okay, but this time I replace this one. You can replace this one like spot. Okay, spot. Now you would put the Y here and the I here. You got what I'm saying? So you calling this function, it will return the value of that character in that position. Okay, so for this one, I just change it to here, like, but the Y obviously is today, so it would change it to like this. Okay, and like Eric is asking, what does I do? Like this, what this do? It's just like separate them. Just tell you I'm going to in the list. If you already in my class, you learn list, and if you want to go to that list, like for example, you want to go to the string, like for example, you have a string like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? If you have a string like this string, if you go, you want to go the first position, you should like just like this string, like for example, this string equal to X. And if you want to go to first one, it just start from 0 to 1. Okay, but we separate by the column because the position, the index from here is 0, so 0 to 1. So between 0 to 1, it would be this A. If you change it to 2 to 3, so it would be 0, 1, 2, and then 3. So from 2 to 3. And it just the way how list to access this position. Okay, but if you are still want to learn more, you can go to W3 school, and sometimes they do, like for example, they do this. They didn't put any number here, which means they just saying from the index 2, like 0, 1, 2, and all the way go to the end. Okay, yeah, all right, I hope you can understand this part, but if you're not, and we will learn it later. Okay, yeah, that's good question. Eric have the second question, is saying, would the bracket is for a list? The answer is yes. You can do a list like 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this, but there's a but. In programming, all these kind of symbol like bracket, parenthesis, and also column, also even equal or plus, they all have different meanings in different contexts. So that's why we are here. For our bracket here, we use this bracket to access the value in the string, which is like list. Okay, I hope you can know what I'm talking about. It's just like if they are also using the bracket to do the way to go to the position. Okay, and at the meantime, like Eric have the second question about the brace, right? This brace, this curly brace, and for curly brace in Python, they use for a set. Okay, we haven't covered that yet, but yeah, definitely we will talking about that more. For other language, they use the the brace for like JavaScript, they use the brace for a code block. Like in Python, they just have the intention to do the code block, but for JavaScript or Java or C# or what else, Swift, if you know that, and they all use that for the code block. But in Python, they use the this indentation 4 space or 2 space as a code block. Okay. All right, so we changed this a little bit and it should be working. And I'm gonna run it one more time. And I copy this one to here, copy this code and come back here and run it. And it's still 1. It would be good, okay? But if you want to go more crazy and then you're saying, hey, why should I just keep doing this C here? You probably just go here and you change it here. C, okay? What does C mean? If you do it like right here, you just like do exactly like this one, okay? So if you return a true or false, so I'm going to just remove this part and also remove this part. And now we all put it into the function, in this function, okay? So I'm going to run it again, and of course you can do it by yourself. And hit enter and 1, and yeah, that's how we define a function to deal with this kind of thing, like to make your program looks pretty. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Thank you for everybody, and of course I'm going to paste this code into the WeChat. And if your parent want to know how to do the programming with you, and you can refer to this, okay? And so if you want to learn something about the function, and we will talk about on the Sunday or Wednesday program. All right, that's it for today. Have a good night.